Hold on, let's go back one more time.
Yeah, where we going?
Because I want to close. Even though we at some point, I'm sure we might end up talking Wilder Fury again at some point. It seems like big fights kind of come back and we do some comparisons and things like that. You know what? I wrote this down the night of the fight.
How many of those did you take?
Oh man, I take them all.
They're gonna throw them away anyway.
I take them all. So, but anyway, so I wrote this down the night of the fight, and I was
Roses are red,
I was like,
violets are blue.
Right. I was like, I can't bring this up on here, but you know, I'll just keep this for the podcast. I didn't bring it up last episode, and I may not even bring it up this episode. So let's just leave it here. All right. If by chance I need it, I'll go to it. But I want to do a little bit of damage control really quickly.
Okay.
I think that people see what I say on not really on the podcast. I don't think. I just think that there's like public interviews that I do, and they kind of cut them up and stuff like that, and kind of the image or the understanding is not what I need it to be, and so that's why I'm talking about doing a little bit of damage control right now. I talked about us not looking at Deontay Wilder as being a great boxer, and that's not what I meant. In the sense of him being one of the greats of this era.
I think your quote was "great heavyweight champion" was the concern.
Okay, so
because he is a great heavyweight champion, 10 title defenses, he's done it. But
when we look at Deontay Wilder, what do a lot of people do? Not even gonna say myself. Like I just watch him fight and then I'll talk about the fights. But a lot of people judge the way he punches. His lack of defense, his lack of fundamentals. I mean, and the list goes on. And what do people talk about? They talk about him having the big right hand. Mm-hmm. And if you can't set up the right hand, then what's he going to do? And we've seen time and time again where fights have gone pretty late and then he gets a late knockout. Yeah. Of course, fights where he gets a first or second round knockout. But in between that, the picture is painted. If he can't knock you out, then he can't win the fight. And so my thing when I was talking last weekend about us not looking at him as one, I probably said great champion. It's not what I meant, but as one of the great fighters, what I meant was the expectation that we have of Deontay Wilder to quote unquote change and to quote unquote have this out of nowhere great jab, out of nowhere great defense, out of nowhere have these great fundamentals that he hasn't had for 30 odd something fights. Stop looking at that. Stop expecting those things to become okay to great. Let's expect them to go from okay to good, okay to better. But let's stop looking at them to be great. And that's what I meant. Like, let's stop scrutinizing this dude and judge him every single fight for not having that great jab. It ain't there. It is what it is. Let's stop expecting to have the great foot movement. It's not there. It is what it is. But let's expect him to have great, exciting, fun matches that he is going to win. I think that he can beat Anthony Joshua. I think that he can beat Andy Ruiz. I think that he can beat Chris Areola. He's already beat Chris Areola.
And I know he can beat Andy Ruiz.
Right, but some of those big fights that can be fun fights to watch, that's what I'm talking about. Let's look at this dude to be in some great, exciting, fun matches and stop expecting every little thing about him to all of a sudden mysteriously become great.
So maybe to summarize, appreciate Deontay for what he is.
Appreciate Deontay for what he is.
Don't try to get him into a certain box of a fighter.
Just because I think we've done that all the way to this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's there. I remember, there's a they romanticize the guys like Ron Lyle and Ernie Shavers who could punch like hell, and they like to romanticize the problems they gave Foreman and Ali and Larry Holmes. And Deontay accomplished more than them. Mm-hmm. He the other two guys you could consider in his power range are Tyson and Foreman,
right, that
actually won belts. So right. he's one of the rare one punch knockout artists who actually got to the title. Right. And I know there's four. And I mean it's 4 titles now as opposed to 1 or 3. When Tyson did it. But yeah, he's done great. And a lot of that stuff that people want him to know, he didn't fight since he was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. Yeah. He's a late starter. He started at 18. Yeah. A lot of that sophisticated skills, those guys have been able to box like that since they were 15 and had 100, so he's done great. He's been an overachiever in some sense.
And be careful what you wish for, because we complained about fundamental boxing with the Klitschko's. Right. Then we get a knockout artist from Deontay Wilder from America. Yeah. And then we're complaining that, he doesn't have fundamentals. Be careful what you wish for. Tyson Fury just has his number.
Exactly. And again, we mentioned it last week, but I'll repeat it again. Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight on the planet right now.
Yes.
But I think Deontay beats every single other one. Like, I don't think he loses.
It's something.
He's the same.
It's something
That's the
that
big
tells
question.
me he
Is he
beats
gonna be the
Anthony
same?
Joshua.
Yeah. And like
it's just something about it.
And he could
I
lose.
think he would've.
Could lose to Joshua, but that's, again, you're talking about the second and third. I mean, Usyk's kind of in there. It's tough because he's new to the division, but like, he's the second. He could be arguably the second best heavyweight.
As long as he's still the same when we see him back.
Yeah, and of course, I hope he is. Obviously, heal up with his hand, but
Then the other side of that is, I think that from me talking about Deontay and publicly, this podcast, so on and so forth, for some reason, people think that maybe I don't like Deontay or I'm not a fan of his. And I was thinking about it this morning. Like, I remember when he won the title, I was selfishly was grateful that he won the title because I understand what having a heavyweight champion means to boxing in America.
yeah.
And they lucky we didn't have this podcast at the time, huh? Because you would have went off.
Probably would have. You're probably right. I probably would have. And so selfishly, when he won the title, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, everybody is going to benefit from him being a champion. Selfishly, I benefit from Deontay Wilder's last 5, 6, 7 years of being a world champion. That's selfishly. On a personal, from a personal standpoint, I love the dude. I've been to China with the dude. I watched this dude flourish as a professional boxer. We play basketball in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center. We've spent time together at different training camps. He's one of those few dudes that you always know what you're going to get. And he's a straight shooter. He's a fun guy. He intense, but if you on the right side of D, he treats you like you family.
Yeah.
And if anybody can't tell that, like, once he invites you in, you become family. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I've always considered myself, even though we, Alabama to Vegas, Alabama to Ohio, I've always considered him a very good friend of mine, and I've always rooted for him. Publicly, I have to do my job. I'm never not going to do my job. It could be my brother boxing, and I'm still going to do what I have to do. If my brother's doing something wrong or I think something could be better, so on and so forth, I'm always going to say that. There's something inside of me that can't ignore, like, doing what's right as a commentator, doing what's right as an analyst. And so, if anything, I really don't feel like I have to apologize for anything, but if anyone felt like I was not giving him his just due or I disliked him, far from either of those. I feel like I've always tried to at least give him his just due, and I'm so far away from not liking the dude that it's ridiculous. I'll go ahead and say it now. Like, I was sick after the second fight, and I told myself, like, I did not want to work after the fight was stopped. And I remember turning around, and I was like, you got to get out of this mode. You got to do your job. You got to get out of this mode. Yeah. And I, like, put on a fake smile, and I started trying to make myself feel good. This third fight, I'm yelling. I'm way up in the rafters. I don't yell for anybody. I don't yell for anybody at any fights, but it's Deontay Wilder. If I'm at a Boo Boo fight, I'm yelling for Boo Boo. 100%.
Yeah, of course.
Remember Terrence was fighting.
Yeah, he was wild.
And Green Machine knocked him down. And I was like, you ain't about to look. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
There's a few people that I'm close to that I will yell for. I'm way up, and where I would be ringside not yelling for anybody, I'm yelling for D. Like, my heart is there for Deontay Wilder, your family, so on and so forth. So, I did want to close kind of that door, but I wanted to kind of clear that up. That if you think that I'm a Deontay Wilder hater or anything like that at all, no, far from it. And if you think that I misjudge him or anything like that, I do the best I can from what I know about boxing. And I've been doing this since I was 5 years old, so I know a little bit.
That explanation just makes a lot more sense than the statement. Even I was watching, I was like, huh? Like, it was just, being that was your mindset, I think the wording was just kind of strange. But
my dad told me too. He said, man, you got to watch what you're saying. And I'm like, dang, it was just one of them things. In the moment, I was like, I told my dad, I was like, we got the podcast, so we'll clear it up.
Perfect. And Deontay Wilder goes down as a Hall of Famer, 100%. All-time great. He's actually the next generation's Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
because all they know is him clipping people.
I was gonna say people are gonna be over. Oh man, you remember him icing Luis Ortiz?
That's what they're gonna remember him for. Hell of a career if he doesn't fight again. Yeah. We hope he does, but Hell of a fighter.
And it seems like he will.
And I'm not clichéing Floyd Mayweather, but he is.
Hell of a fighter. No,
hell of a knockout artist.
It does seem like he will be back, which is great. And again, shout out to Malik Sky, who did a great job.
My guy. Hey, my guy.
I thought he did.
And happy belated birthday. I think it was his birthday.
You know, everybody's birthday.
What's up? I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Ant. Follow me on IG, Ant with 2 T's. Let's do it. Let's do it again. All right.
Just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then tell them, and then you tell them what to do. I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Anthony Brenagh.
Carson A. Merk. Like, subscribe, comment.
This is the Porter Way.